Hello and welcome to yet another hard Sudoku. I'm on the SudokuExchange.com website and there's a list of hard puzzles I could choose from and I chose this one here. Let's see what this is all about. Well, there's a 2 here and there's a 2 here. They block these cells. Therefore, one of these 2 cells must be a 2. And since we have a 2 in this row also, this is the only place in row 1 where a 2 can go now. There's a 7 here and here and here, blocking these cells from being a 7. Therefore, this must be a 7. And now one of these will have to be a 7 as well. The 3 here and the 3 here block these cells. Therefore, one of these will have to be a 3. And therefore, a 3 will have to go in one of these 2 places as well in the bottom row. I'm just noticing that apart from the 7 that would have to go in one of these 2 cells, the accompanying digit will be a 9 because we have a 9 in these 2 columns already. So these 2 cells have to be a 7 and a 9. So there's going to be a 7-9 pair here, and that leaves a 1, 8, and a 6 for this cell, and this cell. And this is the only cell in this column here that can be an 8 because of the 8 here blocking this cell and the 8 blocking this cell. So now we're looking at a 1 and a 6 to fill the remaining 2 cells of this column. There's a 1 already in this row, so this must be a 6 and this must be a 1. Now this 6 and this 6 puts a 6 in this place, and the last digit here is going to be a 4. This 4 and this 4 block these 2 cells and these 2 cells, and this 4 blocks this cell. Therefore, this is a 4. So these being a 9 and a 7, that leaves me to find a 2, 5, and an 8 for these cells here. This 8 blocks these cells, therefore this must be an 8 and an 8, and this is now a 2 and a 5. There's a 2 in the row, so this must be a 5 and this must be a 2. And this one here is going to be a 1, of course. Now one of these must be a 1. And these 2 guys are going to be a 2 and a 5. And therefore, when I'm looking at row 9, and I'm seeing this 2 blocking this cell and this 2 blocking this cell, I can see that the 2 for the bottom row must go here. And now the 2 here and the 2 here block all of these cells. This 2 blocks this cell in addition, and this 2 blocks this cell. Therefore, this must be a 2. These 2 cells have to be a 5 and a 3. There's a 3 in this column, and therefore the 5 goes here and the 3 here. Here's a nice little pattern to always be aware of. Look at the 1, 6 here. They block these 2 cells, and look at the 1, 6 here. They block this cell. So a 1 and a 6 for box 1 here must go here and here. So that's a pair. They are both in this block here. And that leaves a 2, 4, and a 9 for the remaining 3 cells, this cell, and this cell. a 2, 4, and a 9, and there's a 4 here and here, and that makes this a 4. And these two cells now have to be a 9 and a 2. There's a 2 in the row, so the 9 will go here and the 2 here. These two cells now must be a 5 and a 3, and I can't solve that just now. It'll come to me, I'm sure. What about these three cells? They have to be a 3, 8, and a 9. Well, there's an 8 here, so therefore one of these will be an 8. But the 3 could go anywhere, and so could the 9. I want to look closer at this column here. This is a 1, 6, we know that. But we also need to find a 7 and a 9. And this cannot be a 1, 6. So this must be a 7, 9. And there's a 1, 6 here. So this is a 7, 9. This is a 7, 9, and this is a 7, 9. And then this here is a 1, 6. Unfortunately, while it's very satisfying to discover these things, it doesn't help me with this puzzle. But I know that this 4 and this 4 here block these cells, and the 4 here blocks this cell. Therefore, this must be a 4. And this is now a 1, 6. The 4 here and the 4 here block these cells. This 4 blocks this cell, and this 4 blocks this cell. Therefore, this must be a 4. I think we are closing in on a solution here. Now that we found this 4, we took away a square for a possible 8 candidate. So now we have the 8 here and here blocking all of these cells, and we have the 8 here blocking this cell. Therefore, this cell must be an 8. And these two 8s block these cells. This 8 blocks these two cells, and this 8 blocks these two cells. So this must be an 8. So we have accounted for all the 4s and the 8s in this puzzle. These two here now had to be a 9 and a 3. There's a 3 in this row. Therefore, the 9 must go here and the 3 here. And these two 3s now, and this 3 here puts a 3 in this cell. Now these 3 empty cells need to be a 2, 9, and a 7. There's a 9 in this column, therefore this is a 9. And one of these will have to be a 9 now, because this 9 and this 9 force a 9 to go either here or here. The 9 here and the 9 here force a 9 to go here or here. Therefore, we still haven't found a 9 for this column 5. So because of the 9 here, a 9 will have to go either here or here. But that's neither here nor there, and nothing I can solve right now. But let me look at these two again. I have to be a 2 and a 7. And that means that one of these will have to be a 7. And that means because of one of these is going to be a 7, that one of these two guys now must be a 7. And your two other ones will have to be a 1, 6. The 1, 6s seem to be a theme for this puzzle. We have got a 1, 6 and a 7 for these three guys here. But there's a 1, 6 in the row, so this is a 7. Here we go. And that makes this a 7 and this a 9. You remember those, don't you? Now this is a 1, 6. This is a 1, 6. So it's this and this and this. And these are 2 and 7. Here we have a 5 and a 7. Why don't we just solve the easy ones first? I'm asking myself, this is a 5, of course. And these two 5s up here block these cells. This 5 blocks this cell. Therefore, This is a 5, and that makes one of these a 5 here. This last remaining cell must be a 3. And now we got a 3 here and here blocking these cells, and we got this 3 blocking this cell here. This last cell must be a 3. Now we have all the 3's for this grid. So this is a 1, 6. What else is missing from the row? It seems to be a 9. And that's all I can say. Oh, but, didn't we just say before that a 9 would have to go here or here? Now that this is a 5, we have this 9 here, then this must be a 9. These two remaining cells have to be a 1 and a 7. I can't solve that right now. But this is a 1, 6, a 1, 6, 1, 6, 1, 6, and this is a 1, 6. Oh, yeah. I'm afraid that I will have to use pencil marks for this puzzle because I just don't know how to keep all those chains in my head. So let me just do this. These two have to be a 1, 6. And these two have to be a 1, 6. These two must be a 2, 7. These two must be a 2, 5. Here we have a 1, 6. That didn't work. Here we have a 1, 6 as well. So these are 1, 6. And these have to be a 1, 6 at a 7. These three cells must be a 1, 6, 9, except for the top one. This is just a 1, 6. And these now have to be a 1, 6, and 9. Of course, this one here can't be a 6. Must be a 1, 7 only. And this must be a 1, 7, of course. This must be a 7, 9. And this one here cannot be a 1. It cannot be a 2, 3, 4. It can be a 5, not a 6, but not a 7, not an 8, but a 9. So this is a 5, 9. And this one here cannot be, can be a 1 and a 5, not a 6, not a 7, not an 8, but a 9. I think we've got them all now. Now let's have a close look at what's happening here. This has got to be something involving chains. This puzzle I would not call a hard puzzle. I would call this probably diabolical. But who am I to judge? Let's continue to see what we can do here. So starting at the top left, let's say this is a 6. If this is a 6, then this must be a 1, right? If this is a 1, then this must be a 6. If this is a 6, this cannot be a 6. Agree? So 6, 1, 6, not 6. If this is a 1, then this must be a 6. And again, this cannot be a 6. So I think we can remove the 6 from this cell's candidate. And that means that this cell here must be a 6. Now we got a 1, 7 here, and that puts a 6 in this cell because this cell cannot be a 1 now. So this is a 6, making this a 1 and this a 6, 6, 1, and a 9. That makes this a 5, and I think we are going to solve this pretty easily now, just by going through whatever is left over once we find all the singles. Yeah, that's it. I don't know if I should feel terribly sorry that I broke with my modus of not using pencil marks. But even if I could have done this in my head, I could probably not have explained it to you all. So I would have had to do some kind of annotation just to make myself clear. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this, even if it was kind of an anti-climax ending with pencil marks. But we managed to solve the puzzle, and that's the important thing, isn't it? Thank you for watching, and see you again here back soon. Bye for now.